My name is Ilara Price. 3 hours before my sister said I do, I learned what I truly was to this family. A placeholder they forgot to erase. They sat me outside. Not in the back row. Not behind a column. Outside on the gravel beside industrial bins that smelled like wilted roses drowned in bleach. When I asked the planner if there'd been a mistake, she looked at me like I was the mistake. Bride's instructions, she said. Bride. My sister, Sienna Price. Daddy's star. Mom's miracle. America's princess in her head. Inside the tent, the elite clapped for the perfect girl they helped raise. Outside, I smoothed the crease of my midnight black dress and reminded myself. Do not break, not here, not for them. Sienna wanted a venue that screamed expensive fairy tale. So she booked Silver Willow Gardens, chandelier forests, champagne fountains, violinists who looked allergic to happiness. People were taking photos just to prove they existed in her orbit. I only existed in her shadow. Growing up, she was the golden trophy. I was the shelf nobody dusted. She cried, she got rescued. I bled, they told me I was resilient. Invisible isn't painless. It's just quiet. Mum always said, you're the strong one, Ilara. Translation, you're the one we don't have to care about. I pretended it didn't bruise. Pretending leaves deeper scars. They decorated Sienna's world in white orchids and imported marble. They placed my chair between a mop sink and a speaker blasting bass like a heartbeat having a seizure. I could see everything from the threshold. The glittering tables, the laughter, the pride. And the border between worth and waste. That border had my name on it. I kept my expression smooth. People underestimate calm, they forget that still water can drown you. She came. Of course she did. Sienna, in her $9,000 gown, stepped into the service corridor like she'd descended from a higher species. She looked me up and down once. That was all the acknowledgement I got. Then she smiled, sharp as broken glass. So they finally put you where you belong. I almost laughed. You really needed a whole wedding to feel taller than me. Her eyes glittered with that old cruelty she never outgrew. This is my day, try not to ruin it like you ruin everything. Oh, sweetheart, I whispered, you ruin yourself, I just give you the mirror. Her jaw clenched. She hated when truth didn't stutter. Then the planner called her back to the spotlight. She left a perfume cloud and a sentence behind, you don't count, Ilara. She said it casually, like a mathematician confirming a zero. They didn't know what I brought. They thought humiliation was the only thing sitting beside me. In my bag lay the present I wrapped last night. A small velvet box and inside it, evidence. 3 weeks ago in a dive bar in Manhattan, I ran into one of Sienna's ex-co-workers. She drank too much, talked too much. The truth spilled. Sienna didn't fall in love with Reed Turner. She hunted him. His money. His name. His family's empire. Men like him, she'd said in those messages, are easy, cry cute and they hand over the deed. Screenshots. Receipts. Even plans for post-wedding looting. Sienna's entire new life. Built on a scam. I didn't come to her wedding for closure. I came for impact. While the bridesmaids posed inside, I slipped into the reception tent, just long enough to slide the velvet box onto the center of the gift table. Tag. To Sienna and Reed, forever yours, E. Forever is a dangerous word. I returned to my exile outside, crossed my legs, and waited. And then, like someone hit mute on the world, the music choked. One violin note squealed off-key. Then came the scream. High, piercing, expensive. I didn't need to see it to know, the box had opened. Inside, guests gathered. Phones rose. Voices sharpened. What is this? Are these real? Oh my God. Reed, usually soft-spoken. turned into a storm contained only by skin. You joked about selling my house. You wrote I'd be easy to control. You said once his parents die it's all mine. Sienna's face cracked. Her mascara streaks looked like confessions. She lunged for the papers. But the groom's mother, Estelle Turner, got there first. Touch them, she hissed, and I'll show every guest here exactly who you are. The room went silent. Not the awkward kind. The execution kind. Reed's voice was cold. There will be no wedding night, there will be no marriage. He tossed a folded legal document onto the table. Annulment signed. When her knees buckled, the expensive crystal frame hit the floor. Shards everywhere. Perfect day. Shattered. Her world finally sounded like my heart had for years. Meanwhile, I leaned against the stone wall outside, watching the night sky glow with fireworks that weren't planned. People ran out through the double doors. Shock rippling through sequins and satin. Whispers hissed like snakes. Did you see her face? She lost everything. The sister exposed her. What was her name again? Ilara. The name they all forgot to remember. Now it burned on their tongues. I stood, brushed gravel from my dress, walked toward the chaos I created. Sienna spotted me first. Eyes bloodshot, crown tilted, sobbing like a child who broke her favorite toy. You did this, she screamed. No, I murmured, you did this. I just lit the lights so everyone could watch. She lunged for me. Reed pulled her back. Stay away from my fiancé, she cried. She's not your fiancé, Reed said. She's a thief. And that was the moment. Her spotlight finally burned her. Security dragged her away. Dad tried to speak. Mom tried to pretend she hadn't raised the monster who created this mess. I walked past them all, their shame heavy in the air. Mom reached for my wrist. Ilara, please don't leave like this. I looked her dead in the eyes. You never asked me to stay. I freed my hand. Her fingers curled on nothing. That's what loving Sienna always felt like. Grabbing emptiness. I left the venue through the main doors this time. No more service exits. In the parking lot the night was cool. Quiet. Obedient. I unlocked my car and let the engine purr. A scream echoed from inside the tent again. This time, I smiled. Not joy. Not evil. Vindication. Some people burn bridges. I let them build the fire. And then I throw the match. As I pulled away, my phone vibrated again and again. Mom, Dad, unknown. Let them call. Let them beg. Let them finally realize the cost of ignoring a daughter who wasn't born decorative. The road out of Silverwillow wound along the lake. Water shimmered black and deep, like a mirror with no reflection. I rolled down the window and whispered to the night. Count me now. Because the truth is simple. When you exile someone to the trash, don't be surprised when she comes back, wearing gasoline.